Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Buchman and welcome back to another EZLynx Live. We're fresh off of our first appearance at AppliedNet, and today we're going to be talking about some of our items that have come out in our Q3 release, which just so happen to be some of the items that we highlighted at AppliedNet this year. So the first item we want to talk about is one of the highlights, one of the big unveils that we had at AppliedNet, which is our performance goals. Now, performance goals, this is a very powerful feature. It allows you to both have dependable data so that you can measure, so that you can evaluate your staff based on goals that you create in the EZLynx management system. So let's get EZLynx pulled up real quick here and let's take a look at performance goals. So when you log in to EZLynx, one of the things that you'll notice right off the bat is that colorful widget up there that says performance goals. This allows you to track, at least from the individual user, the producer standpoint, themselves, the goals that they've achieved, right? The goals that they may be behind on, and things that are on track. To access performance goals, it's simple. You can head right over to the top button, click Agency Performance Goals, or you can go ahead and just click here, View All, and this drops you on your actual dashboard. From here, you're able to actually get in some more information to see, what is the effective in the start date and the end date for these. I can see total, achieved, on track, behind, failed. And if you think about it, showing failed, I don't think is a negative thing. I look at this as a positive. This is a coaching moment. Right? What did we not do right? What can we do to get ahead? Right? What can we do to correct some behaviors that we don't want to do? There's a slew of filters that you can utilize. You can filter by the type of goal. Is it annualized premium? Is it a written premium? Is it number of policies enforced? You can also look at the different states. Are they achieved, behind, failed, on track? So if I just wanted to see the things that I am on track for, I can filter down and I can look at my actual growth one for 22 policies enforced. I'm at 70%. And we're calculating whether it's on track based on an algorithm we have from the start date to the end date and what the targets are, how many you're expected to bring in and where you currently are. So this is great from an actual agent standpoint, and that provides them with a really, really, really clear picture. So let's get into actually what does it look like to kind of create some of these actual goals. So if we go to Manage Goals, click over here to Create, it's going to look a lot like Automation Center, right? You've got the stepper at the top that has, the start, select the metrics, add a filter, and the final step. You'll notice that you've got two rows here, right? We've got policies enforced, annualized premium, written premium. Below that, we've got new business policies enforced, new business annualized premium, new business written premium. What's the differences between the two categories? Think of the top triggers up here, these top metrics that you're going to utilize. Think of these top metrics as something to help with the overall growth of the agency. So if I want to look at policies in force, and if I want to set that for the agency as a whole to see about growth, I'm going to use that top one. The ones down below, these are really, really, really great if you're going to be looking at trying to set monthly goals, quarterly goals for your sales team. If you have targets that you want to hit, I want to bring in I want to have so many new business policies enforced. I want so much new business annualized premium, right? Those are the ones that we recommend creating monthly goals to try to target sales numbers for average growth. You look at the top ones. If we look at total number of policies enforced, let's click on that one. You have the ability to add filters. We'll talk about some of the filters that you can add here. You can do the goal by transaction type, carrier, policy type, line of business, state. A lot of you out there, one of the obligations that you have for the carriers that you work with is you have to write a certain premium amount, right? Or you have to have a certain number of policies written. Here's where you can manage that. You can create a goal for a carrier and basically state that I want it to be, maybe it's for 21st. When I go to my next step, I can name the goal. This is going to be policies in force. I can assign the goal to the agency as a whole, or I can assign it to a specific agent, right? If I was at the tip top of an organization, I could assign the thing down from a standpoint of where do I want it to go in my whole tree of organizations, which branch do I give that to? So that's great if you think about it from a view standpoint. When you generate these goals, if you're at the tip top of a multi-branch organization, you can set goals for your agency and the branches below you. the admins who work at those branches in the agency, they can look at the goals that they've set for themselves and the ones that have trickled down from up top. So this provides great visibility for everybody. So I can either assign a goal to a whole agency as a whole. I can assign it to an individual. Let's just say that, for example, here we want this to be assigned out to our top branch. Let's put in here the start date. This is when we want the goal to start. Let's say that this one's going to start October 1st. And we have to get by the end of October, what do we want? Do we want the policy percentage to increase by a certain number of policies in force? Or do we want a certain count to go up? Maybe we have a certain number that we have to go with. We have to, let's say we have to increase by, increase to, decrease by, decrease twos. Maybe we have to have an exact number that we want to have, right? Let's say we have to increase our number of in-source policies for 21st century. We have to increase by 50 policies. By the end of that month in October, that's what we have to have. So that allows you to come in here, set that goal, and then you can go in as a producer, see goals assigned to you, where you sit, what you have to do. As a sales manager or agency principal, you can come in here, set goals for your organization and see how the organization as a whole is doing. Very, very powerful tool in really allowing you to be able to measure your agency's success and then have coachable moments if there's certain areas and behaviors that aren't going the right way, right? Let's get people back on track. Let's course correct. And that's really the importance here. Performance goals provides you with dependable data that you can utilize to go in, set targets for your organization, and then measure them and see how everybody's doing. It's probably one of the hardest things with goals is finding good data. And that's what we're providing you with here in order to set up really good goals to move the momentum of your agency and grow.
Our next enhancement has been a heavily requested item for a few years now, and we're really excited to have it here in Q3. We now allow your customers to submit Google reviews through the Client Center for your agency. This is a big enhancement that we're really excited about. So let's head back into EZLynx and let's show you guys Google reviews. So starting out here in EZLynx, the first thing that you're going to want to do to get Google reviews working for your agency is go into EZLynx Connect, go to the home, search for Google in the marketplace, and then right here, it's going to ask you to enable the integration and turn on. And you'll have to put in some information from Google in order to make the association between your account that you have with them and here in the EZLynx system. Once that's all done, it's set up and it's ready to go for your insureds. And your insureds, how they interact with it is when they come into Client Center and they perform a self-servicing action. This is going to be one of the things that actually pops up. So for example, this customer that I'm on right here, I went into the system and I performed a change request. I'm looking to add a different vehicle because I'm buying a new car. So they get to rate their overall experience with what they think of the agency, right? So 1 through 3 stars, not that great, but 4 through 5, really good. So let's just say I love the site and had 4 through 5 stars. And then right here, they're going to land on a page, and it's going to ask them, do you want to leave a Google review, or do you want to refer a friend? And it's completely up to them if they want to do it. If they want to go ahead and review you guys on Google, they simply select leave a review on Google. This is going to redirect them. It's going to log them in. They do have to have a Gmail, a Google account to be able to do this. So they'll be able to rate your experience. You know, same thing right here, 1 through 5 stars. They can type in how they felt, so they can say, you know, great. Great experience in Client Center. There we go. They could add a photo, whatever they wanted to do, and then they can actually post it. And then that'll get posted into Google for your agency. We've also made some really good enhancements this quarter in Automation Center. And we've actually ventured into the world of accounting. We now allow you to trigger workflows off of the generation of an invoice inside of EZLynx. So let's get EZLynx pulled back up. This is a big win for everybody, especially those customers who have our accounting products. So let's talk about and show you guys the new trigger that we have for accounting inside of Automation Center.
So here in Automation Center, really excited about this one. If we scroll down all the way down to the bottom, we can see that we have a new section here for accounting. And this is where our new invoice trigger is going to be. And this will trigger anytime an invoice is created. So if you select it, of course, you could do the same thing here. You can filter it down, add filters to make it more specific. The thing I want to kind of highlight is if you go over to actions, we have a limited set of actual actions that can happen once an invoice is created. Obviously, we can have it, create a note and a task to the assigned agent. But you have these two things right here, send a payment request through email or text. If you select email, the thing that you have to be sure of right here is who's going to be getting that link. Is it either the applicant or the primary contact if it's a commercial account, or is it the co-applicant and the secondary contact if it's a commercial account? You have to select who you want this payment link to go to. So you would select that. If you wanted to use text messaging as a backup, you could. Let's go ahead and let's exit out of there and let's pull up the one that we already have generated. So we've already created this one. We've already selected, for here we've already, said that we want to create an email link to the customer, and that's going to send them a client center link. And then we also have this nice task that's going to get generated. So what we've already done is, for the sake of time, if you go up there and select Charlotte, let's find Charlotte Reese. Charlotte, there we go. What we've already done is we've already selected to have an invoice generated for this customer's account. So we've already gone in, generated the invoice. The one thing that does happen is if we come over here to the workspace, we got the payment request, we have the actual workflow that triggered, right? And if you go into our email, I'll pull this up real quick here. Here's the email that the customer receives. It says your insured agent has requested a payment. Please click the link below. When you click that link below, it's going to redirect them to Client Center. And here in Client Center, what they'll have to do is they'll just have to enter in their email address. So as we can see, I have quite a few in here that I've been working with. They'll enter that in. Of course, it's going to ask them to provide the login. So there's your Client Center link. Sends an email request, so we can put that link in there for them. And once you log in, what's really neat about this is it directs them right to the payment page, right? So that link that they get that's generated out of the automated event in Automation Center will take them right to where they need to go to jump into the payment process. And from here, they're selecting that they want to pay this bill, and they go into utilizing, say, applied payments in order to actually make the payment and get a receipt generated.
Now, some of you might have utilized our EZLynx mobile in the past, and some of you might have understood that sometimes the spacing isn't all that great in EZLynx mobile. Well, we're happy to say that with this release, we've enhanced our EZLynx mobile and provided a lot better user experience for people. And we've also adjusted what things actually make sense in a mobile version of EZLynx and what things don't make sense. So let's pull up EZLynx mobile, and we're going to talk about, what are some of the improvements that we've done here. What makes sense to the agency, what doesn't make sense to the agency. So there's certain elements inside of EZLynx that we recommend. This is more geared towards a desktop experience, right? You should be looking at this feature of product in the desktop while these other ones work well in mobile. So let's get mobile pulled up.
All right, so to demo EZLynx mobile, one thing I want to do is I want to show you the old version versus what the new enhanced version for EZLynx mobile looks like. So in the old version, which is on the left right here, you can see that we used to have this button that said EZLynx for mobile. So you'd have to choose to go to EZLynx for mobile, you'd then choose to log in, and of course, here's the experience, right? You could basically see tasks, you could drill into a customer's account if you wanted to, which would then, eventually pull up. You could, look at documents, what the quotes that you had done, and that was pretty much it. Now, if we go over to the new version, you'll notice that clicking the action to go to mobile is gone. Why? Because we're making the actual EZLynx site mobile responsive, right? So we already know it knows that you're in the context of a mobile phone, as we can see with this kind of emulator we have. So if we choose to go ahead and log in, there we go. It's the dashboard. Right? We're not taken back to, like in the old version, this page. We're actually on the dashboard. Now, one of the things that we really wanted to highlight here is that when you go up to the actual menu option, notice there's just a couple of options that you can do here, right? You can access customers' accounts like you could in the old mobile version. So if we wanted to go in and go to, like, say, Black Bear Brewing, we could go to this customer account. We can see their active policies. Of course, active policies have a green border around them. Inactive policies have a red border around them, and the exact same thing happens for claims. If it's active and open, it's green. If it's closed, it's red. But you can see everything. You can see tasks. You can see email campaigns. If you wanted to see accounting, you could see accounting. You could go view policies. You could access the actual customer's details. You could go to the quotes. You can even go to your lead info. You can go to documents. One of the cool things about the mobile version is that when you choose to download a document, it just downloads it directly to the mobile device, right? It doesn't pop up with this big screen where you have to try to go in and navigate around and scroll horizontally. You also have access to the actual workspace, just like you would see it in normal desktop version of EZLynx. So if we were to go in and add a note, you can add the note for somebody. You can even add a task. You could add a checklist, you could add a reminder if you wanted to. All of this stuff is there. The important thing to note, however, though, is that we do restrict the things that you do in the mobile version. So as you'll see, we don't have the little Sales Center icon here. That's gone, right? And we don't have the access to Sales Center or Retention Center. Those are going to be products that we recommend you use in the desktop version. But this is a vast improvement over what we had when you compare this mobile version versus our old mobile version of EZLynx.
You know, for those of you who attended AppliedNet this year, one of the really big announcements that was made by EZLynx as well as by our extended family at Applied was the addition of Applied Payments. Applied Payments is one of the new things that we now have in EZLynx, and it's something really great for your insureds to be able to utilize to maximize their experience inside of Client Center. So let's take a look at Applied Payments. For those of you who had AppliedNet, this might be a little bit of a repeat for you, but for those who weren't able to attend, this is a really big feature.
All right, from the home screen here, in order to access Applied Payments, what you just want to do is go to your EZLynx Connect Marketplace, go to your home, and we have these great shifts right up here at the top that make it really easy to find things. So if you click on Payments, you'll see in this test account we already have Applied Payments set up, but if you didn't have it set up, obviously you'd select the option. You'd go through the setup process. You do have the ability to go to Applied Pay. Once in the Applied Pay portal, you're able to see all kinds of great information about the transactions that have come in. You can look at your actual payments dashboard. This is all stuff that's part of Applied Pay, which is just amazing information to have at your agency. Of course, all of this is test data. None of it's actually real that we're seeing. But from your insured standpoint, once you have Applied Pay turned on, the integration is set up and enabled for your organization. If we were to go to, say, one of our customers and go to, say, Client Center, what your customers see is they see an option for payments, right? So if they need to make a payment, just like we've had before, they can pay on invoices, policies, they can make a one-time payment. Let's say, for example, for the sake of this, we just need to make a one-time payment. It's a fee to the agency. The agency said, hey, you've got a $50 fee that you need to pay to us. So the insured's going to come in here and agency fee. All right, they're going to select this option, and once they hit continue, this is where Applied Pay kicks in. This is where it takes them to the secured portal, where it's going to ask them to confirm some of their information. It's going to be the actual payment that they're paying. Here's the actual fee that's assessed to it, the processing fee, and then of course they just come down here and they enter in their credit card information and they make the payment. That payment then gets logged in the payment portal. Receipt is generated for the insured, and that's it. That's Applied Payments. We're really excited to have this in the system so that you guys can continue to have this great offering available for your insureds where they can actually make payments through the Client Center.
And finally today, one of the last things that we want to talk about is we do want to highlight some of the expanded policy entry screens that we've now added with this release. In the previous release, we did allow you guys to be able to have some generic entry screens for some lines of business. We've expanded those lines of business, and we now have some new lines of business that weren't previously supported with entry screens. Now they've got some generic ones so you can submit some information. So let's get back into EZLynx real quick.
Now, we used to only offer generic policy entry screens for miscellaneous bond. With our previous release, we added support for commercial bond, surety bond, and liquor liability. And with this release, we've expanded it even more, and we've added some additional lines of business. We now offer generic policy entry screens for miscellaneous, notary bond, license and permit, vacant property, pollution liability, and title bond. So that provides agents with the ability to provide carriers with some level information when creating an application for the above mentioned lines of business, or when just filling out, say, your policy entry screen. So for example, when you're adding a policy, you'll be able to select from one of those new lines of business, like right here, miscellaneous, and be able to go in and fill in policy entry screens. So let's take a look at just some of those once again real quick here if we get into it. So miscellaneous will have now its own tab. Notary bond has its own generic policy entry screen tab. We have license and permit, once again, which has its own generic tab where you can add liability, property section, item schedule sections. We have pollution liability, vacant property, and to round it out, we've got title bonds. So those are going to be the 6 new lines of business we now support in our generic policy entry screens.
Well, there you have it. Those are some of the really cool things that we had come out here in our Q3 release. I want to say a big thanks to everybody who joined us at AppliedNet this year. This was our first live appearance at AppliedNet here for the EZLynx product team, and we were really excited to be there. We were really excited to be able to meet with some of you guys out there, talk with you about what you thought of the system, and we're looking forward to next year. So hope everybody can attend. Hope we have even more people attend. That way the product team can actually get a chance to speak with all of you. Thank you all so much for attending AppliedNet once again this year. And thank you so much for watching today. That's all the time we have, so until next time, we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.